Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm PJ, and I am just so thrilled that you guys are with me while we're heading into this season. There's finally hockey to talk about, like actual live hockey to talk about, which is great. I'm just super excited. Training camp started today. I'm recording this on Thursday. Training camp started today, so we're going to dive into that. We're going to dive into a couple other things. We had a contract signed yesterday. Kind of cool. So let's get into the top 4 topics of today. And speaking of contract, well, there it is. The final piece of the off-season business for the Chicago Blackhawks is officially done and just in the nick of time. Defenseman Wyatt Kaiser has agreed, woohoo, we've been talking about this kid, to a 2-year contract extension worth $3.4 million total, carrying a 1.7 AAV, obviously. With that, he's officially locked in. He's on the ice for training camp. So let's break down what this deal means, what it says about Kaiser's standing with the Hawks, and what we can expect from him this year. So the deal came down literally one day before the official skate of training camp. There have been negotiations all summer, but there wasn't a huge rush. Kaiser didn't have arbitration rights, so both sides kind of had the luxury of time. Now, that's not exactly the deal that Kaiser's camp wanted. He was probably hoping for a little more term or a little bit more money. We were talking about this, so probably a little bit more term. But it's a solid raise from his entry-level contract, and it gives him a big chance to prove he's worth more than on his third deal. This is a classic bridge contract. Short-term, mid-tier money, and a huge opportunity to cash in down the line if he delivers. So it's really now on him. So look, the Kaiser that we saw down the stretch last season, that guy looked like a legit NHL defenseman. After getting recalled in early March, Kaiser played the best hockey of his young career. In his final 22 games, he scored 3 goals, added 2 assists, and held his own analytically. 46.88 Corsi for percentage, 15 goals for and 14 goals against on 5-on-5, and solid underlying metrics next to Artem Levshunov. And that Levshunov-Kaiser pairing, sneaky effective, small sample size, sure, but it absolutely showed some promise. So Kaiser's path to long-term money is simple. Be consistent. We've seen flashes, we've seen potential. We've also seen him bounce between Rockford and Chicago more than once, but this year he has to own his role. He's likely in a top 4 role if he starts the season next to Levshunov, and he's expected to play on the penalty kill. And side note, he was, today at least, partnered with Levshunov. We're going to get into that. Don't forget, he really clicked with Anders Sorensen when Sorensen stepped in as the interim coach last year. That's important because Sorensen's now in charge of the defense under Jeff Blashill. So not only does Kaiser have familiarity on the bench, he also has a coach who knows him and knows exactly how to get the most out of him. This is a big year for Wyatt Kaiser. The contract's fair. The opportunity is massive, obviously. And the competition is fierce with all the young blue liners in the system. Now it's time to prove he belongs. If he plays like he did at the end of last season, confidently, aggressively, and with poise, he'll not only stick, he'll thrive. Let me know in the comments. Are you buying into Kaiser this season? I am. I've been waiting for this kid to sign all year. Who do you think he'll be paired with on opening night? And we're going to get into that in a second. So moving on from there, let's talk about the fact that it's go time, Hawks fans. Let's go. Training camp officially opened at Fifth Third Arena, and the message from Jeff Blashill was loud and clear from the jump. This is going to be a fast, physical, and high-energy season. Day 1 was no joke. Guys were flying, battles were fierce, and Blashill, fiery. This wasn't much of a soft launch into the season. It was a statement. So let's break down everything you need to know about the first day of the Chicago Blackhawks training camp, from player impressions to injury updates, roster battles, and yes, what Kyle Davidson had to say about that Connor Bedard extension. So Blashill wasted no time setting the tone. Day 1 was filled with high-tempo skating, relentless transitions, and lots of back-checking. Just like he said back in August, Blashill wanted to see who had the work ethic to battle through a hard skate. That's exactly what he got. Players were grinding, coaches were vocal, and the energy, legit. And for the first time in a while, it felt like there was a new standard inside that building. One that's going to demand accountability from everyone. Now, GM Kyle Davidson spoke with the media today, on Thursday, and dropped a few important injury updates. Laurent Brossoit had off-season hip surgery. That goes in conjunction with the 2 knee surgeries he had as well last year. He's out long-term. Could be the season. He does not want to shake that ghost payroll designation, does he? This means it's Spencer Knight and Arvid Soderblom's net to lose, obviously. No more guessing. They're in there. That's the pair. Knight is number 1. Soderblom's number 2. Ty Henry, one of the Hawks' 6-rounders, had a nasty fall at rookie camp and will need knee surgery. Oh, that's terrible. Brutal blow for a kid who is really starting to show something. AJ Spellacy, out 7 to 10 days with a shoulder issue. So this happened at the showcase this past weekend. And Jack Pridham is day-to-day with an infection. Neither Spellacy or Pridham were expected to make the team right off the gate, but still, you never want to see young guys miss some time at camp, and especially like Spellacy was really made a name for himself in the 2 games over this past weekend. And then there's Mac Grzelcyk on a PTO. Yes, of course, we talked about that yesterday. Davidson confirmed the team brought in 31-year-old Matt Grzelcyk on PTO, possibly as leverage while waiting for Wyatt Kaiser's deal to get done, but also because of the guy's experience. He played under Mike Vellucci in Pittsburgh last year, has connections with Foligno and Donato from his Boston days. And Davidson said, "We're young on the back end, so it's additional competition for the younger players." All right, well, okay. We still need ice time for these young guys, though, too. But it's not a guaranteed spot. But Grzelcyk's presence ramps up the battle for those final D pairings. And then the Kaiser deal's done, finally. And Davidson said he's excited to see Kaiser keep building. As for Lucas Reichel, Davidson straight up said this is a prove-it camp for him. Fresh coaching staff, fresh opportunity, but he's got to take it, and it's time to show he belongs, and I really hope he does. I mentioned this before. I saw this kid overseas when he was with the Eisbahnen in Berlin. This kid can fly. He's a great player. Just get your head in the game, Lucas. Come on, man. And then Kevin Korchinski. Don't be surprised if he starts the season in Rockford. Davidson said he made good progress late last year and in the AHL playoffs, but emphasized he's still very young. And if he's ready, great. But if not, Rockford isn't a demotion, it's development, right? So that's one way you just got to look at it. And now the $1 million question, or maybe the $10 million question. Davidson didn't dance around it. He said there is zero concern about Bedard's next contract. They're not actively working on it right now, but both sides are on the same page. Here's the quote. "He wants to be here for a long time. We want him to be here for a long time, and we're going to make that happen." Well, that's kind of all you need to hear. So the tone is set. Blashill means business. The kids are fighting, the vets are responding, and the front office is locked in. This is shaping up to be a real battle for roster spots. Let me know in the comments who impressed you on day one, if you happen to catch it. Who impressed you? And who's your dark horse to make the roster? Let me know. Moving on from there, we love talking about this kind of stuff. With training camp officially underway for our beloved Hawks, let's be honest, one of the first things that we all do when lines drop is try to read way too far into them. Now, don't get me wrong, if you don't want to get too attached to any combos this early, but the first day does give us a glimpse into how Jeff Blashill is thinking, especially with so many new faces and so much young talent pushing for spots. So let's talk about it, because yes, Connor Bedard's line got our attention right away. Who was it? Bedard, Donato, Burakovsky. On Thursday, Bedard opened camp skating between Burakovsky and Donato. Blashill explained the reasoning behind that group, saying, Connor and Donato played a decent amount together last year. Andre's a guy who's good at bringing pucks up through the neutral zone. I think he can play off of Connor. There's a give-and-go component to his game. Donato's a good scorer. Connor can do it all. And look, it makes sense, right? Donato had a career-high 31 goals last year. He showed some chemistry with Bedard. Burakovsky, when healthy, can be a crafty puck transporter with some offensive finish. The theory here is Bedard can drive the play, Burakovsky can support zone entries, and Donato can cash in. I mean, it sounds solid, right? It's day one. It's a pretty intriguing trio to start with, though. Here's what the rest of the forward lines looked like. We had Teravainen and Nazar and Bertuzzi. Interesting. I like that. Slaggert, Dickinson, and Mikheyev. Not bad, right? Colton Dach, Foligno, and Lafferty. Good. Moore, Ryan Green, and Reichel. And then we had Thompson, Toninato, and Lardis. So a couple of notes. I love the idea of Teravainen and Nazar together. They're smart, they're crafty, play-driving forwards who could really unlock Bertuzzi's grit in the offensive zone. And then what about the Moore, Green, Reichel line? 3 young guys, lots of speed, plenty of upside, and a little bit to prove, right? So fun. On the blue line, the newly re-signed Wyatt Kaiser is right back where he left off, paired with Artyom Levshinov. Kaiser said, "We're definitely trying to build out what we had last season. Maybe be a little bit more consistent. That's a goal for us." Now here's how the rest of the D pairs shook out. Vlasic Murphy, Del Mastro Renzel, Korchinski Nolan Allen, and Grzelcyk Crevier. That Del Mastro Renzel pairing really is interesting. The 2 smart young players with size and some sneaky offensive upside. And if Korchinski starts in Rockford, a strong camp from Allen might give him an early leg up. And finally, yes, Matt Grzelcyk on a PTO, right? Davidson explained he's a really good veteran. It's additional competition for the young players and a chance for Matt to make the team or showcase for the rest of the league, right? Because we were talking about him getting traded at some point. He put up a career-high 40 points last season with the Penguins and played under assistant coach Mike Vellucci in Pittsburgh. We mentioned that, of course. There's a connection there, so if he impresses, he could bring some needed stability on the left side, especially if the kids stumble early. So at least he's there as a calming, steady force, which is always good. So bottom line, look, it's only day one, right? This is already shaping up to be a very competitive training camp. Young guys pushing, veterans trying to prove they still belong, and a brand new coaching staff setting the tone and just trying to get everything to gel. We'll keep you updated on all the progress of the team, and as camp goes on. So let me know in the comments, who do you think you want to see on Bedard's wing this season? It'll be really interesting to see what these, as they mix it up, they're trying the new recipes, right? See what these line pairings are going to be. That's going to be really, really cool. And finally, we got some hot takes from our peeps. We had Lee Thomas, 5830. He said, so he has a suggestion on rules. Like to see if you miss a penalty shot, a 2-minute penalty should be called. Usually a trip or hooking happens to have that penalty shot happen. Board of Governors should consider it. So if you miss on a penalty shot, a 2-minute penalty should be called. Interesting. That would definitely make it interesting, right? It would definitely make it more a lot more focused. Yeah, a lot more skin in the game, as they say. So, all right, Lee, I like it. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your contribution. Really appreciate that. Spencer Hawk, 9742, repeat offender, says, I'm hoping I can get CHSN, Chicago Sports Network, via Roku. I think you can. I'll check into this for the next episode. Watched available content, but they haven't charged me yet. Fingers crossed. So your words to the universe's ears, buddy. I hope we get to see all the Hawks for free. Wouldn't that be nice? Probably will never happen, but it's worth a dream. So I'll check on the Roku stuff for you. Ernest Eason, 7979, definite repeat offender. He says, I like Bertuzzi over Teravainen. No matter who's on the wing, Bedard's got to start winning some faceoffs. And side note, Ernest, he has been working on this on the offseason. The win percentage on his faceoffs was way too low, and he has been focused on this offseason, so let's hope it translates into this coming season. Bedard's been a train wreck at the dot. Yeah, true. I love the Hawks prospect pool. It's been a few years, but this season, we finally have something to watch. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm going to be happy to be watching it with you. So there you go. And then Peter Olbrich, 89-70. Again, not shocking. So he's commenting, he's talking about how we have on the thumbnails, a lot of times that the verbiage, trying to get people to click on it, I get it, right? But, I am going to push back on this one a little bit because, Peter, we had lots of stuff to talk about today. We signed Wyatt Kaiser. That's shocking because it came in at the last minute. So I get what you're saying, but I'm super happy the news came out. So thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your contribution, of course. And let's keep going. Let's go, Hawks fans. So that's a wrap for today, guys. Thank you for always letting me know your thoughts. Thank you for putting in your comments. It really does help. It helps me. I learn a lot from you guys. You guys come up with some great ideas. I am down for, if anyone's doing hockey, like fantasy hockey, let me know. I'd love to join a team. I think it would be a lot of fun. Of course, I would probably draft all Chicago Blackhawks, but, it'll still be fun anyway. So thank you again for checking in every weekday for the Blackhawks Daily. Thank you for liking these videos. Thank you for subscribing. And also thank you for sharing, right? It's so cool that you guys are spreading the word. Thank you so much for that. It really does mean the world to me. It's super cool. And that's it. So, hey. That's right. Today's Friday. So for you guys, I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. I heard it's supposed to be a little wet this weekend, but have a fantastic weekend. I hope that your beers are cold and your steaks are hot. Steaks are hot. And so thank you again. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next time.